Welcome to the 2025 Annual General Meeting for the Well Creek Trust, taking place at the Upwell Village Hall on the 5th of February 2025. If you require any additional information regarding this charity, please visit the website at www.wellcreektrust.org.uk. If you have time to spare and would like to assist the trustees or join the committee, please get in touch. All assistance is greatly appreciated.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's 7 o'clock, we'll make a start. So, welcome everybody to the 2025 Well Creek Trust AGM. It's nice to see so many people here. And we'll go through the agenda, starting with, first item on the agenda is to receive apologies for absence. John?
So we have John Ravel, Mr. R. Nuttall, Bernard Keynes, Mike Kelly, Alistair and Carol Chambers.
Thank you, John. Before we start, I should tell you that the Well Film Productions are filming this event, and it will be on YouTube and anywhere else.
Your website?
Oh, yes, on the Well Creek Trust website as well. So, if anyone has got any objections, they don't want to be seen, can't imagine that they don't. We all like to be seen, don't we? Anyway. Photos, Facebook? Yeah, okay. Right, the second item on the agenda is to receive the minutes of the annual general meeting held on the 1st of February 2024. I'll hand over to John to give me those.
Yes, so basically the minutes of the 2nd of February 2023 AGM meeting, they were agreed, everybody agreed to that, nothing was raised. Then we moved on to the annual report and the statement of accounts year ending the 31st of August 2023. So basically, Alan confirmed receipt of the statement of accounts for the year ending 31st of August 2023. We want to call him AG rather than Alan. So right, Alan reported that the total income was $31,176.43 and $33,477 spent in expenditures. Now, the financial year had been busy with the Trust managing to receive £315.40 in gift aid, £600 from raffles, and £640 for the celebratory Golden Anniversary Dance. The Trust also managed to secure £15,000 in the form of a silver grant and a further £13,000 grant from the Blunt Trust, which enabled extensive repairs to the church mooring, Upwell, thus leaving a net figure of £6,967.83. Richard Wellborn was thanked again on the behalf of the Trust for his gratis work in finalising the accounts, and Alan reported that Richard is happy to continue on this basis. Then we moved on to, we had a couple of new council members. Jenny Townsend and Martin Rawlings volunteered to join the committee, and on the same evening we had the AGM. Then we had the retiring council members. 3 members of the council, Alan Gullen, Dick Godfrey and Phil Adams, were due to retire this year. With regret, the chairman accepted Phil Adams' notice of retirement, but Alan Gullen and Dick Godfrey agreed to renew their term. We only had one other business to discuss last year, and that was about the aqueduct Outwell. One of the Trust members noticed that the aqueduct was getting very muddy and requested the committee to have a look at it. Basically, there were deep holes starting to appear there from where cars park and turn around. So, and Graham will be covering that in a moment. That was the only other thing. So basically, it closed at 19:25 hours or 7:25 hours. Thank you.
Thank you, John. The next item on the agenda is the Chairman's Report. This is the Chairman's Report for the 5th of February 2025. For any new members, and to remind existing members, the objectives of the Well Creek Trust are as follows: to sponsor the preservation, beautification and public use of the Well Creek in all its aspects, including boating, navigation, fishing, skating, nature conservation, village landscaping and amenities. I'm pleased to be able to report that 2024 was another good year for the Trust. On the 20th of April, we held a horse race night meeting in the Village Hall in Upwell, and the event was very well attended with over 100 people who were thoroughly enjoyed by all in attendance, especially the people that won money. The Trust raised £1,147 from the event, and many thanks must go to Paula Nuss for all her help and assistance, as the event was her idea. Also in April, the Trust erected a bench on the Well Creek bank adjacent to the children's fishing platform on Lowside Outwell. The bench was donated by the Barraclough family in memory of Oliver Barraclough, who was one of the founding members of the Well Creek way back in the 1970s. In October, the Trust erected another bench, this time at the Outwell Aqueduct, near the disabled fishing platforms and the boat launching slipway. The committee have also been investigating ways to improve this area and the slipway, as the ground leading to the slipway is in very poor condition. We received a quotation for work to do this, and unfortunately the quotation was in excess of £9,000. So at the moment the Trust are investigating further ways to go forward on that one. We've got one or two ideas, so we do hope to be able to improve that area. I don't know whether you all know where we mean.
You can apply for
SIL, we can apply for SIL, yeah, we've got another idea as well, so I think we should be able to do that. That's where people launch the small boats and where the disabled fishing platforms are, so and it's a nice area to have a picnic, so it really needs doing. In November, the posts for the extension to the children's fishing platform were installed, and the platform can now be completed once the weather improves. The Trust organised and paid for the planning permission, for the middle-level commissioners' permissions, and also paid for the water vole survey by Talk Ecology, and for MHE Environmental Consultants to supervise the actual work in accordance with the government guidelines for water vole protection. I think all of those items there that we paid for cost us well in excess of £2,000, but if we wanted to do the platform, we had to bite the bullet and pay for it, so there we are. On the 9th of November, Phase 6 of the Wisbech to Upwell tramway memento was officially opened by the Mayor of Wisbech. This has now completed the project, and many thanks must go to Mr. Bill Smith for all his hard work and perseverance for seeing this very worthwhile project through. Again, the opening ceremony was filmed by Well Film Productions and can be seen on YouTube and the Well Creek. Is it on Well Creek as well?
Yeah. If you put it
just on YouTube. Have we put it on?
Not yet, but
no, we will do. Yeah. Now that Bill's here somewhere, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to persuade Bill to put together talk and slides on the 6 mementos and how important they are to the history of the area and of the tramway. I'll keep having a go at Bill, and I think sometime this year we may be able to put an event on to show all that. It'll be very good to see how that all came about, because it took about 10 years, Bill? Something like that. Seemed like 10 years anyway. Anyway, we'll let you know if we manage to put on a meeting for that. And just finally, I'd like to thank all the committee members for all their hard work again throughout the year, and also to thank all the members, all you members, for your continued support. Thank you. The next item is item 4, to elect members to the Trust Council. Each year we have 3 retiring members, and this year the retiring members are G. Seaton, John Delaney and M. Scott. Are you prepared to carry on, Mr. John Delaney?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. I'll say I'm prepared to carry on if people want me. And is M. Scott here? I haven't seen it. No, well, we'll assume he's carrying on, then he should be here. He's not. Are there any people on the membership here that would like to be on the committee? It's not too onerous, is it? You've been on a year or two, haven't you? Yeah. You retire next year, by the way. Yes. So are there any people here that would like to be on the committee? I think we're okay. Perhaps, you know, we could do with some younger members, couldn't we? Younger, yeah, that's what I want. No, younger ones. Some younger ones. Yeah, can't see any here. Can't see any here. No. Okay. Anyway, if you do want to join, to become a committee member, let us know later. Right, the item 5 is to appoint the accountants. I'll hand over to Treasurer to explain that.
Well, hopefully next year again. Mr. Richard Wellborn is our accountant, and hopefully I think he'll do the same next year. And that move on to the...
Yes.
Yeah. And then I'll run through the figures. You should have all received a balance sheet with our AGM notification, and that represents the last financial year, which ended on the end of August 2024. So those are the figures which I'll be looking at. I won't go into pence, we'll just keep with the pounds. So I'll run through what we did with the money. First of all, on the income side, we had, the first amount was £1,474 for the Upwell Tram Memento scheme. That's one way we hold the fund on their behalf, so we are just simply fund holders, that's not our money. Because at that point in time there was still ongoing work. The next figure we have is £682 for subscriptions. Then we have £4,297 for donations. That's quite a large figure because we received £3,716 from the estate of the late Oliver Barraclough, which we thought was very generous, and that's why we bought a rather nice teak public bench seat engraved in his memory, and we installed that near our fishing platform in Upwell. Next we had £330 income from the Inland Revenue. This is where I love to claim money back from the taxman. This is part of the gift aid, where anybody who pays tax can gift aid their donation or subscriptions, and then I can claim that back from the Inland Revenue. We had £560 coming from various raffles from last AGM and dance, etc. We then had £3,477 income from various dance and the race night. Of course, we have expenditure to go against that. We had £25 in book sales, £80 savings, interest, total money in £10,925. Then, what do we spend the money on? Well, here we go. Expenditure. £2,006 went out on the Upwell Tram Memento scheme. £13 to the company's house for our registration, £44 in post, £79 stationery and copying, £132 for hall hire, which was hire for when we have our meetings here. We've got £254 listed for labour and services. We put that, that covers various things. We actually spent £116 for a planning amendment for the fishing platform, and we spent £138 at that point for the water vole survey. There was a lot of money spent later on for the actual reciting of these water voles, but anyway, we'll mention that later. £690 of materials, £541 is spent on the Oliver Barraclough Memorial Bench, £91 for wildflower seeds, and £59 for fixings for general maintenance to the mooring cleats on the church mooring. We spent £2,189 going out from the dance and the race night, because we have to pay for the food, the hall, music, the race organiser, balloons, prizes, etc. £270 we spent on insurance, £110 to angling water. We have a water point on the church mooring for the boaters to use. And I think finally we spent £135 on our website handling costs. Total spend £5,922. So after the various ads and omits, the Well Creek Trust balance of funds stands at £12,502 as of the end of August last year. Right, a couple of things. Yeah, we've mentioned this work around the launch ramp. One way or another, we will improve that. If we can't do the full scheme that we wanted, we'll certainly make sure that cars have enough traction to pull the boats in and out. There is a small platform which you use once you've launched the boat, which is in poor repair. We'll be renewing that soon. And just one thing on the mentioned committee members, anybody who wants to join, but it's useful to have anybody who's able-bodied, who's prepared to come along to a work party, who maybe not very keen on coming to meetings, but would like to come along and help with digging and you know, outdoor work. And if anyone has resources, a mini digger and a vibrating whacker plate would be very handy. So if anybody has such things in the, you know, in the downstairs cupboard, come and see me, and I'll make a note of your number. So, anything else on the finance? All happy, very good.
Yeah, it's good we got away with it again. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Alan. Right, the last item on the agenda is any other business. And has anybody got any questions to ask on any other business? Somebody did mention it. No? Yeah, you've got, yes. Oh, hello, some papers coming out. Oh dear.
Could be a tricky one.
Oh.
Well prepared.
Hi, I'm Jim Solomons. I would like to know any platforms that Avon Constitutional Well Creek Trust. I know the answer already is no. I asked if we could have 1.5 meters at each end of a 65-metre long platform, and I was told no, you cannot.
You mean, when you say that, you mean the Upwell landing? Yeah, that's what you mean now. I'm just telling everybody that's what you mean. You mean the Upwell church mooring. That's what you mean, doesn't it?
You've only got one 64-metre long. That's the only one you've got, 64-metre long.
Okay, yeah, that's so everybody knows what you're talking about.
So why is Well Creek so anti-fishing? Why do fishermen have to give way to boats? Surely it should be first come, first served. Why have boats got priority? And then, to top it all up, there was a piece in the magazine about Well Creek Trust, by a Well Creek Trust member, as far as I know, and and it said, all we ask is that fishermen take the rubbish home. I'm all for that, but why did it not say people who use the river take their rubbish home? Why are fishermen being picked on?
I can't answer that one, but yeah, I quite agree that everybody should take their rubbish home, yes. I don't think we can say that we can have fishing areas on the mooring, because it is basically, it has been put in for boats, but we'll have to see if we can. Boats do have priority. I don't know, it's a middle level thing.
Well, for the moorings, I guess the problem, yeah.
Move fishermen off the platform with Well Creek Trust backing. They thought to that, and Well Creek Trust said we can do it, so they do it.
Well, the only problem is, I guess, that the boats have nowhere else to moor, and so that's why I guess they've generally had priority over those locations. But of course, what would say is that when the boats aren't there, that they're all free to use, and the fishing platform, admittedly, it's the children's fishing platform, is not. There's no boating allowed to berth there. That's.
Oh, we have to move. We don't have a choice. We have to move exactly the same as the disabled. We're on the disabled boat. We have to move. If we're set up fishing and a boat comes, we have to move. Why?
Yeah, but the thing is, you can fish. There's a lot of areas where you can get to the bank and fish. I'll tell you one thing I'll mention. We had a plan to put in about 20 1 metre square dedicated fishing platform. No, this is just recently, because this is my idea. Because I bought myself I'm a smallholder, and I bought myself a petrol post driver, and I thought with one of these tools we could put these in fairly easily. Unfortunately, we then came across this water vole problem, where every time we do anything constructive on the banks, we have to have a survey and then have the moors relocated, which is astronomical. And if it wasn't for that, we would be putting ahead with planning permission to put in 20 individual dedicated fishing points. If we can get around the water vole problem, we will do it. But that's just cropped up.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yes.
Well, the answer is actually that because it's a navigable waterway.
Yes.
Therefore, it's not decided here, unfortunately. And so therefore, it's what the waterways say, and you're kind of stuck with it. Because if they did...
Private people have to do the same. If you put private movement, do they have to do the same thing?
I actually don't know, but you have to deal with the waterways situation. So it's perfectly difficult. I quite agree with what you're saying, don't you know? But therefore, it would be to speak to the waterways board and get them to agree that this is possible. And they may well agree. They may not have actually been asked because nobody realised that that was the situation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, as Alan said, we were going to put fishing platforms in until we got this water vole problem. And I don't think we're prepared to spend £1,000 every time we want to put a fishing platform in to get over the water vole thing. I mean, that might die a death. I don't know, but that's what we've been faced with this last year, and we'll have to see. But we'll bear in mind. But no, I don't think we can say that we can leave 1.5 metres each end of the boat platform. No. Yeah.
One thing I would say when I travel around is the moorings aren't occupied all the time. There's quite a lot of time when there are, and we have them dotted around. There's one at Nordelth, there's one along on March Riverside. So there's quite a few that are not always occupied by boats. So there is a reasonable amount of time when fishing can go ahead without people.
Don't realise is that perhaps they can help you're set up to go fishing properly. You just set that up, stuck you an hour, a boat comes along and says, oh mate, you've got to move. And you have to move, you haven't got a choice, because you're backing with a song.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go somewhere else and take another hour, and the same thing can happen again.
Yeah. We need separate points, that's what we need. We need dedicated fishing points, and that would be the...
If we can get over the vole problem,
Yeah.
we'll
Certainly try. We'll pursue that one and see if we can move on.
Whereabouts would you like it? Whereabouts would you like it if we can do that?
What, fishing back?
Yeah.
Well, somewhere we, well, it can be cemetery, would be a good place for a start.
Yeah, okay.
One of the things you can do is that Martin Scott, our fishing commissioner. Okay, so I still speak this way because obviously everybody else can hear what I'm saying. So basically, Martin Scott, who's our fishing commissioner, now he has actually been along the whole length of the Well Creek to see where we can put the fishing platforms in. So we've actually got that far with it, and then we came across this problem with the water voles. Now, what would be a good idea and will help us is if you could catch up with Martin Scott to actually agree the areas, the good places to put the platforms. Because as you know, there are good areas of fishing along the creek where there's lots of fish, and there's other areas where it's just very, very low. So exactly. So what I'm trying to say though is that we're now trying to help you. We're responding to you. So are you going to speak to Martin Scott? Can we get Martin Scott to contact you? Will you be able to send me your email address and everything so we can...
My email address is jeffbishop@aml.com.
Right, okay, so if you could send it to the Well Creek Trust site, we'll get Martin Scott to speak to you about where would be the good place to have them.
Okay, and then we'll see if we can save up and pay for a water vole survey. Is there any other business? No, in that case, we will break now and have the draw.
Just one more point. Being me the treasurer, I wasn't very keen on paying all the money out for these water vole surveys. Here's a question. Anybody who's doing walking and by the waterway, have any of you actually seen a water vole?
Recently?
How many? Hands up? One, two, yeah. Because you know, I've seen rats in the water, but they're very different. Water voles, dark, short, flat ears, hairy tail, and they actually tend to stick out the water a little bit as they go along. So quite distinctive once you recognise them. But I've never seen one locally. I've seen it elsewhere in Norfolk, but not here. I'm just curious because we seem to be the water vole mass population here for some reason. And very few people have seen them. Anyway, interesting.
Okay. Anyway, that will close the AGM and have a break while we have the draw, and then we'll be followed by Abigail. Thank you very much.